guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth. I go by the username Be More Creative both here on Flosstube and on Instagram. So I am back with Flosstube number 50, and in this Flosstube I'm actually going to include my mid-year WIP parade. So I wasn't really sure how I was going to do a Flosstube today because I have some things to show, not a whole lot. I've really been focusing on getting my freebies up until August, like fully designed, stitched, FFO'd, and I'll be filming those videos in the next few weeks. So you will see over the summer there is some pre-recorded videos going to be going up, so you will see like the same background. I might even be wearing the same clothing. I'm doing it so that way I can actually over the summer have these videos up and not have to worry about trying to fully finish items that I don't really have supplies to do so, or things like having to travel with these pieces and be nervous that they're going to break before I can actually record the video and show. So I am going to be doing those videos over the next 2 weeks. I will still be doing floss tubes, but I can film a floss tube wherever I am. I don't need supplies to do that. So that is what is happening at the moment behind the scenes. But that does mean it has taken away my time from stitching the pieces that I can share with you now. So we are going to do a WIP parade. I do have a couple of things to show you that I have been stitching on in the past 2 weeks that I can show you. And the first one, I have a finish. I had the goal of finishing this one in May, and I did complete that goal. I finished it on the 31st of May. This is Elizabeth Bennet of the Jane Austen series by Twin Peaks Primitive. This is a completely free chart that you can go and download on their page. So if you type in Twin Peaks Primitives freebies, this comes up with a load of other different charts, but this was definitely my favourite one of the series. I love having these silhouette pieces. I've stitched this on an 18 count Coffee Crafts fabric, and I have to say the fabric makes this piece. This design is absolutely adorable. I love the silhouette designs, as I've said before, but I really think on these bright fabrics or on these really mottled design fabrics, it just makes it work so much better. So this is stitched with 2 strands of DMC 310 on, as I said, the 18 count Coffee Crafts fabric, and I have left a lot more space on this side. I'm not sure how I'm going to FFO it, but I will be including a lot of space in the piece just because this fabric needs to be shown. So yeah, I was really proud. I managed to get that completed in the month of May, and that gave me a £35 towards the Stitch from Stash challenge. So that is my big finish. I'm trying to work out where to put everything because I've got pieces everywhere. The next thing is a finish for now, and that is part 2 of the Dreaming of Summer Sale by Love Poppets. I absolutely love this piece. So part 2 was the house at the bottom with the little grass underneath, and I did finish mine on the same day that it came out. But I absolutely love that. I'm really enjoying this sale. You can no longer get this sale anymore, but I'm sure when its sale is finished, she'll be releasing this. And part 3 comes out next week. So I believe there's like 6 parts to that. So I am looking forward to continuing that piece. And this is the first chart. I did switch the bags out because originally I had it in my Stitch Magic pouch. But I'm using that for a bigger piece, and I'm using this in my Canny Little Fox design piece, so I can actually fit 4 more charts that I'm working on. So I did actually have this thing completely full, but I have finished my June freebies on the 17th, my July and my August. So those were the pieces that were in here. But I think this is going to be really fun for the summer because I can put 4 pieces in this and then have that on the go. So looking forward to the next part coming out. I'm absolutely loving stitching that out. So the next piece is the Colorado Cross Stitcher Summer Camp 2024, and it was stitch on a piece that is monochromatic and add in at least 2 colours. So, or you could do the other way, stitch on a piece that is multicolour and make it monochromatic. So I'm doing Autumn Tree by Hello from Liz Matthews. I've loved this piece. I've had this piece for a while in my stash, but haven't got around to stitching it. So I have just started this. I've barely got anything done. I started it on June 1st and then I put it down so I could work on my other pieces. But I will be picking this back up, and I'm stitching mine on an 18 count Vintage June by Swigart. And I have changed the colours up. I'm using threads that I had in my stash. So for my main colour, I'm using Classic Colourworks, Blackbird, and that is going to be my dark colour. But then what I've decided to do is I am going to stitch the middle pair of squirrels in Dandelion from Cottage Garden Threads. So these are the 3 colours that I'm going to show you from Cottage Garden Friends, are part of the Autumn Garden range that came out a few years ago at Needlework Market, the one in September online. So really enjoyed that. I'm going to stitch the sails of my sailboat in terracotta, so I'm going to have the little red peeking through, and then I've got the green, which is called Spruce, and I've decided I'm going to stitch these little icons at the bottom in green. I'm not sure, I might stitch one of the big ones, but all the little ones 100% are going to be done in the green. So I'm going to have the dark brown black everywhere, except for these squirrels are going to be the brown, the sails on the sailboat are going to be in red, and then the little icons are going to be in the green. As I said, I'm not sure about the bigger section. I'll get to that when I get to that. But I have made a very, very small start on that one. But I am going to be stitching it as the tree. The chart does give you the directions of how to stitch it as a tree, or you could stitch it as just a triangular shaped piece if you wanted to. And this is what I am holding in my Stitch Majig bag, just because this one, it is so much bigger, so I can actually fit the chart in here, and I can actually keep the piece on the Q-snap just while I'm stitching it. I do take it off at other times, but everything fits really nicely in there. So I did switch up the bags for those pieces. So that is all of the stitching that I have to show you. As I said, I have also this week FFO'd my summer pieces. I did that on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yes. Oh no, yesterday, sorry, Thursday. I had like a little FFO day where I just got everything out and FFO'd everything, which does mean all of my summer pieces do have the same finishing items on them, because every time I finish multiple things, I seem to like what I've done on the first one, and then I just repeat it multiple times. So they do look very, very similar. A few items of haul. I was debating whether I was going to show these, but I picked them up. I was in B&M the other day, and they're all wooden pieces. So the first one is a slogan hanging plaque. It was £3.50. Walk in the wildflowers, and I thought I could pull off the wildflower. You could just display this as it is, it's a gorgeous piece, or you could pull this off and then put a finishing piece in the middle with the floral etching around it. So I've just got that to go into my finishing stash. I then saw these and I thought these were absolutely brilliant for finishing. I love finishing on boards. As you can see, I have quite a few pieces, way am I going, over on boards that I've got from hobby shops. But this was £5 for 2. They are very thick boards. They're very sturdy. They're actually sold as proper serving boards, but they're a little bit wider, so you could fit a bigger piece on. And for £2.50 a board, I thought that would be absolutely great for finishing. So I did pick these ones up as well, and that will just sit in the finishing box. I don't really have plans for these, but what I do is when I see things like that, I do pick them up and finish them. The other piece, I can't turn it around because I have already FFO'd, you can see the ribbon, but this is one of the pieces for August. But this was the wooden soap dish for £2.50, and I have to say I'm obsessed with this finishing. I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek. But yeah, so if you see these and you want to finish the August piece, it will be finished, well, it is already finished, on the wooden soap dish, which is from the bathroom collection at B&M, £2.50. You cannot beat that. I think I might even look at getting some more of these for finishing some Christmas pieces. You could easily just glue a ribbon onto the back as a hanger. I haven't got that far yet. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to be displaying this piece, because it could just rest up there, or it could be hung up if you glue a piece onto it. But absolutely love that finishing piece. And I only picked up one. I actually found it, I did see them in the bathroom section, wasn't going to get them. Then I picked up these boards and someone had just randomly left that one on the shelf next to it. So I was like, do you know what, if I'm doing wood, let's just pick up that one as well. So I've already FFO'd something on that one. That is one of the August freebies. There will be 2 freebies in August because I do World Cross Stitch Day plus my freebies on the 17th. So that will be the freebies on the 17th for the month of August. So I have a huge box of WIPs next to me. I'm not even sure how many WIPs I have in this box. I really haven't been stitching on too many WIPs this year, but I have been productive on my stitching because I have finished 36 pieces so far this year. So I have finished a lot of things, but I've also started a lot of things. But most of the things I've started, I've finished, except for a few. So we're just going to jump in and have a look at what WIPs I have. And this is a good chance for me to have a look through and see what pieces I want to take this summer. Because I am away for a lot of the summer. I work in a school, so I do get... Sorry, I've got the hiccups. So a lot of my holiday is taken during the summer. But also in the summer when I am working, my work shift changed dramatically. So I then suddenly get evenings and I have weekends off because I go to Monday to Friday normal hours, which for me is such a difference. It gives me so much more stitching time than what I have currently. So I know I'm going to be hopefully getting some pieces stitched this summer, but I just need to decide what I want to kit up, as in new starts, and what I want to take as WIPs. So we're just going to pull them out. I have not organised it in any kind of order. I wish I'd thought that far ahead and done it in date order. I really haven't. I haven't even pulled up my notes. So it is just going to be showing what pieces I have, so that way I have a record of it and we can see how many more WIPs I have at the end of the year, or how many of these I've actually stitched and finished, which I think will be quite interesting because I wanted to do that last year. I just didn't think far enough ahead to actually film the mid-year WIP parade. So that is what we're jumping into now. I don't have too many WIPs. I probably have between 20 to 30, which, okay, is quite a lot. There are 2 that I can't show you because they are my designs that I am designing myself, and they're just not in a state where I'm ready to share them. I made the mistake of sharing one of mine up close before, and unfortunately someone did take it and it was released on Etsy. Someone was selling the pattern, so I now don't share my pieces until they are up on my YouTube channel, so that way I've got a record that I have designed them. But yeah, let's not get lost into that. So the first piece here, and I have to say they are all in a tangled mess. Now this piece really is quite an emotional piece to me. So I started this piece, it is Winter Friends, and if I can find a photo, I will try and insert a photo up here of all of these pieces, because a lot of them are digital and I don't have the charts with me. So Winter Friends is one I started in the Autumn Lane Stitchery as a sale for the month of December, but unfortunately I lost a very close friend to me who loved snowmen, which was the reason I was stitching it. Was I was actually going to stitch it and give it to her next year, but we did sadly lose her. She passed away peacefully, but it was a bit of a shock. So this piece kind of became very difficult for me to stitch on because the main reason that I was stitching it I had suddenly lost, and then every time I stitched on it, it just reminded me of her, and I wasn't ready yet. But I do want to get this one finished this year or next year. I'm not rushing myself into doing it, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I really I'm not sure how I want to finish it, but I do keep thinking about doing a stand up. So yeah, not much progress on that. But I am now ready to stitch on this one again. As I said, I was struggling before, but I feel like I could go back to this one. But I'm just not sure I'm ready to stitch winter just yet. The next one, this is one that I started not that long ago actually, and I don't know, I think the problem is I started it, I put it down, and then it didn't pick it back up. So this is Silver Creek Samplers Planting Daisies, and I'm sorry if you can hear closing of doors and banging. I didn't time this right, and my students are now heading back to class this afternoon. And I'm stitching this on a Chromatic Alchemy 20 count with my own choice of threads. I'm just using threads from my stash, and that is how far I have got. It's a beautiful piece. It's got a lot of text in it, so that hopefully should mean it stitches up a little bit quicker. I just need to dedicate the time to go back to it. I think I had planned to have daisies instead of, because you can see my freebies for the month of May was daisies. I was planning on doing a daisy display, but I realised I didn't actually have any daisy pieces stitched, and then because I had so many bees, I kind of focused on bees instead of daisies. But definitely will be getting that one finished hopefully this year. This has been a WIP for quite some time now. Trying to see if I can find the photo for this one. I have the chart in here but not the photo. So this is, I will put a photo in, it is Caterpillar Cross Stitch Toy Emporium. I have changed this to I think it's a 20 count grey Swigart, I'm not sure of the name, using the called for colours. I just haven't had the motivation to this one. It's Christmas, I'm not really in the Christmas mood, and I don't know why, because when I do start stitching these, they do go quite quickly. I have 3 of them stitched already. I just need to pull it out and do it, but I'm just really not in the mood for Christmas. So this has actually been a WIP for quite some time now. I do have the other ones kitted up and in here as well. I've just not been in the mood to stitch Christmas. The next one is also a Christmas piece. This is one of those pieces I call my fill-in pieces. This is Santa Baby by Fat Quarter Shop. It's So Emma. And I did finish this year Mrs. Claus. All of these pieces have been completely outlined, so they are literally just pick them up and stitch. They're great fill-in for travel, things like that. The reason I haven't got around to this one is because I did replace my fill-in with the Elizabeth Bennet one that I showed you earlier in this video as a finish. So I don't know, I might pull this one out, but once again, I'm just not into Christmas at the moment. But I do have this one all ready to go as a fill-in piece. It could be great to take to a retreat because there is no counting at all, so I can sit and talk while doing that one. So it may come with me at some point over the summer, I just don't know. The next piece is 'Twas All Hallows Eve by Tiny Modernist. Now this was a sale that I started last summer. Now with this piece, I jumped in the summer. I did really well at getting the frame stitched before the first box came out, and then I did the first box, I did the second box, and then it came to September when the third part was released, and September is back to school. That's busy for me, and I just didn't get a chance to do this. Now I cannot remember what fabric this is, but down in the description box below you will find a link to a Google Sheets that has all of the information for all of my WIPs on there, so you can see which ones I've finished this year and which ones I'm working on. It only has the ones from this year, but I have put in all my active WIPs at the start of the year, so it will be on there. But I absolutely love this piece. This piece I probably should take with me this summer just to get it finished, because it would be nice to have some pieces up this Halloween. The next piece I have isn't necessarily a WIP, because it is a WIP in the terms of I still have 3 more charts that I want to finish from this series, but I have finished 3, and this is the Blackbird's Feathers Loose Feather Designs, Blackbird's Loose Feather Designs even, if I can maybe talk. Now let me try and wrangle this fabric a little bit so I can actually hold it so you can see it. And I have 3 of them done, and I'm changing these to represent each member of my family and then just a family general block. I'm using called for colours in the DMCs of this. So I've got 3 done. I haven't started on 4, 5 and 6, but the reason it's still in my WIP pile is because I do want to do 4, 5 and 6. I'm not doing these in any particular order. I just picked out 6 of my favourites. So I still have the Summer Beaming Forth, the Last Ripe Berries, and All the Hills Echoed. So I will be finishing that. There is no rush to finish this piece, and I know that this is a 16 count Chromatic Alchemy June fabric. As I said, all the called for colours. It's more of a kitted up piece at this point. It's not an active WIP because I did finish the 3rd block. I just need to stitch the other block, so it's still in there for that reason. Right, the next piece is a new WIP this year as well, and this is a Teresa Koga Patreon chart called Make Up Your Mind, and this is based on Anne of Green Gables. I absolutely love this piece. I actually started this, I think it was February or March, and I started it because I did a colourway when I was trying to stick to, oh, that's not even going to show you, maybe if I actually find where it is on the fabric. I'm stitching this on a Coffee Crafts Design fabric. That's as far as I've got, and I'm using the Last Lonely Home Aurifil thread collection for this, so I am changing it to my own colourway. And this is what I started. I think it was in March that I started this, but I just kind of started it and then put it down. I don't really know why. The chart is absolutely gorgeous, and I am quite enjoying just picking my own colours. It's a bit brighter than I would do normally, but I think it's going to look absolutely adorable, and I do love the quote on this. It's been my experience that you nearly always enjoy things if you make up your mind firmly that you will. So that's as far as I've got on that one. But I think it's another one where some of these bigger charts, I put them down to go work on smaller charts or to work on my freebies series, and then I just end up not going back to them. So I do eventually, they just sit there as WIPs for a while. Okay, the next one is a Christmas stocking that I've been working on. It is out of the Heirloom Christmas Stockings magazine that I picked up, and I am stitching the Holiday Study. I wanted to stitch multiple of these stockings. I don't know why I didn't start with the one that I want for me, because I really want for me the, everyone's going to know which one it is. I think every cross stitcher has it for them. The stitching room one. This is the one that I really want to stitch for myself, but I ended up starting with another one first. I'm stitching this on the called for fabric, 25 count Mushroom Lugana with the called for threads, and this is as far as I've got. This piece of fabric is flipping huge, so I think that's part of my issue, but then every time I look at this I absolutely love it. So I don't know, I've been deciding, do I stop and then start on the one that I want for me and motivate myself to actually get one of these stitched, or do I push through and just continue using these? So I will have to make a decision. I am finding it a little bit hard to stitch from the book. Someone said to me that I should get the PDFs, but I'm like trying as much as possible because I've already paid for the book, so, and I'm kind of cheap like that. But we'll see. I just don't know what I'm doing with that. But once again, I'm not really focusing on Christmas pieces at the moment. Just not ready to deal with Christmas just yet. Okay, this was a new start, and it was a bit of a whim of a new start. It was one of those where I said to myself I wasn't going to start anything. I then received the Autumn Lane Stitchery Halloween box, and Evening Stroll was in there, and it's on perforated paper. I have a love-hate relationship with perforated paper. I love the pieces when they're done. I enjoy the start process. I then dislike stitching on them constantly. So that is as far as I've got. It's one of those that I just need to push myself to do because this piece is going to look gorgeous, and I have the finishing piece. It came with the kit. So I just need to push myself to actually work on it. So that piece might be a good piece for travel, so maybe I'll take that piece with me this summer. I'm just really not sure. The next piece I will need to find a picture of. This is Durring Jones, and it is a Santa pendulum. These things are tiny. Why have I not finished this? I have no idea. I have no idea why I haven't finished it. It is holding up a load of classic Colourworks. This is one that I did as a stitch from Stash. So I just picked out colours that I kind of thought would go. It's holding up a load of thread. It is teeny tiny. I don't know why I haven't finished it. There is just absolutely no excuse for that one. Now this is probably my oldest WIP, and I still really love this design. I just don't reach for it. This is Autumn Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I'm stitching this on an 18 count Jodrell Designs Jade Dragon, and I have got the first quarter of this thing stitched. I would love to get this one finished this year. I just never reach for the thing. I really don't know why. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think also I did challenge myself because I have done an entire colour version. I've got Sulky, I've got Weeks Dye Works. This is one of those pieces I started when I first started, quite new to cross stitch, and I'd been buying random threads without knowing a purpose for it. So I have like classic Colourworks, I have Weeks Dye Works, I have Sulky, I have DMC, and I think that's part of the struggle is rather than just being able to pick it up and stitch it, I have to try and work out which colour represents what, because I also didn't mark anything down. But I am loving how it's looking, so maybe I should take this piece this summer and just kind of force myself to stitch on it. Because when I start stitching on it, I know I'm absolutely going to love it. The next one is, I haven't got much done, Boo Spook Haunt. This is a Hello from Liz Matthews Patreon exclusive. She'll probably release it at some point this year, but it has like florals with ghosts in the middle. This was my first time stitching on lining. This is Pictures Plus Ancient, and I think it's a 36 count. I'm not 100% sure. I'm using Paintbox threads, which is it Lovecraft's? Their own thread version. Absolutely love them. I just need to pull it out and stitch on it. I haven't been feeling Halloween. I normally stitch Halloween over the summer, so maybe this is one of those ones I will take so I can have this finished, because I think it will look really cute up on display. The next piece has barely any stitching in it. I don't really know if I can classify this as a WIP. This is Boffy Threads London. Now, I actually picked this up because I was going to stitch it for my sister. I just have not been in any frame of mind to even consider stitching it. I did re-put all of the threads onto Fat Quarter Shop Flosstube, so they'd be a lot easier to handle, but there's just so much thread in this project. and it is a full coverage except for the sky at the top. So I did change the fabric. I did have a bigger start than this, but I changed the fabric just because I wasn't enjoying the fabric I was stitching on, and then I didn't want to have like a plain white sky. So I did change it. I can't even remember what I've changed it to, but you won't even be able to see the stitching. I've just got the white outline of the train at the bottom. So I don't know about this piece. I'm not enjoying stitching on it on the moment, but then again, I haven't really given it a chance since I've restarted it. I think I was so annoyed with my restart. Let me see. So the first time that I was stitching it, I hate this fabric. It's the called for fabric that came with the kit, and it's a bluish green Swigart, I think, but it's so stiff. So I got this far into it, but I just wasn't enjoying the really crunchy fabric. I tried washing it, it didn't do anything. It's just really not a fabric for me. So I think I'm just so annoyed that I spent so much time on the first piece and now I have to restitch that. But we'll see. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm just going to wait and see what I want to do. The next one is the Dark Queen of the Earth Sal. Which way does she go? This is with the Gilded Oak, called for fabric, called for DMC and fancy flosses. I would love to have this piece stitched. Absolutely love to. I just have not put any time into her since last summer. So she's absolutely gorgeous though. I think the problem is I started on one of my devices with Pattern Keeper. I stopped halfway through a section of release, which I don't normally do. I don't know why that happened. Something came up, and then I can't find where it is in Pattern Keeper anymore. So I've got to sit down and work out where I am in the chart so I can be able to continue stitching it. And quite frankly, not something I even want to think about now. So it's living in the WIP box in timeout at the moment, but I really should think about pulling it back out because I would love to have it done. I've got all of the beads, I've got the bead pack, I've got all of the threads tied up in that piece. I probably should think about it. This one I think is quite funny. This is my Dark Queen of the Seas, and I started this on a whim after I'd started the other one. So let me put the page back because it's going to rustle. I started it on a whim. I wasn't going to start it until I finished the other one, but I was in a hotel room. I thought I'd picked up Dark Queen of the Earth. I didn't have it. I only had Dark Queen of the Seas. So I did make the smallest start ever because I started on the little fish in the middle. And I am stitching this. This is the called for fabric. I did buy the called for fabric for both of them. This is a 28 count Lugana in Bewitched by Under the Seas fabric. It is the most gorgeous fabric ever. And I'm going to be using all of the called for colours for this one. I put this down because, as I said, I wasn't meant to start it. I started it because I didn't have anything else to stitch in the hotel room and I really wanted to stitch. But it's not an active WIP. I need to get the other one stitched because I have more on it. This is also one that was started purely on a whim. This is 16 count Legacy Ada fabric, and this is one of the Teresa Kogut cat patterns from the Halloween piece. This actually might be a good one to get the colour filled in and have this as a fill-in project at Big Stitch, because by then I'll probably want to be stitching Halloween, so I might pull this one back out and just continue working. It has got two cats. I think they'd be quite cute as little pillows or little stand-ups, and have those on my board, my display board. So I might keep that one out and just keep working on that one. This one you would have seen quite a lot at the start of the year I'm stitching. This is the 100 Days of Tiny. I don't actually know which way it goes. I will have to work that out. It is a black work. Let me put something behind it. It is a black work threads piece by the Steady Threads. It was for the 100 days project. I kind of dropped out again at day 40. I had just too much going on, but I really was enjoying the project when it came up. I definitely do want to get it finished. I'm stitching this with a Jodrell Designs thread that I got in my advent calendar. You can no longer get Jodrell Design thread or fabric, so I don't really mention them too much anymore on my channel, but it is an absolutely gorgeous thread, and this is a pattern that I do want to go back to, and I would like to get finished this year because it does look absolutely gorgeous. I just need to pick up, because I did drop off the challenge. I got too busy to keep doing it every day, and then I just kind of dropped off completely with it. Now this piece is a little bit embarrassing that I don't have it stitched, because this is one of my own charts that I did, and this is kind of really, it's not my first design that I've released, but it did kind of kick off the starting the freebies on the 17th series, and this was my birthday sampler. So I started this last year. I turned 30 last year and really wanted something to have as a memory, and I will be stitching this one. I will get it finished, but this incorporates all of my kind of creative achievements up till that point. So I have my rainbow streak, represents my first nail art design, which is what my YouTube channel used to be about. I have the fact that I had started stitching, and that was represented. I also have elements of my very first cross stitch chart that I released to all of you, which was a year and a bit ago now. So really happy with this. I'm stitching this on a Coffee Crafts design fabric. I started this on my birthday last year, and I have not picked it up since because I've just been so busy with other things, but it's definitely one that I will stitch away on a little bit each year. I've got no rush to finish this, but it's definitely something that I will get done at some point. It's the only piece of mine that I have that doesn't have a model stitched up already. Sorry, I have been putting all of these away as I go, just because otherwise it's going to be too much at the end. I've just had an avalanche of projects. The next piece is another piece by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I don't have the fully piece to show you. I only have the chart in here, so I will try and find a photo. This is Let It Snow. Now there are two kind of Christmassy kind of song-like patterns. I'm stitching the Let It Snow version, which is there's a snowman with a village scene. I'm stitching this 1/1 on 25 count vintage country mocha with all of the called for colours. Absolutely love that piece. The only reason I put it down is because I just kind of wanted a break from Christmas at the point, but I will definitely be picking that one up and getting that one done this year. Okay, and the last piece I have in here isn't actually a WIP. It's another one where I've been stitching the series, and I've got so far and haven't stitched the last two. So this is the series that I did last year for my Christmas tree. Each year I pick a theme, or it's actually my students suggest multiple themes, and then I do a random picker and pick the theme for the Christmas tree next year, and then I work on those. So this was last year's series that I did, but I do want to finish the last two because I do rotate around the school. I decorate 6 trees, and each tree has a different theme, so I like to incorporate as much handmade stuff as possible. So we have the tree that is just dedicated to students. They do their theme and create it however they want. We have the tree in the office, which is my personal tree, because I can't have a tree in this room, it doesn't fit, but I spend most of my time in that office. So that is, the students suggest different things, I do random picker, and then I pick whatever theme. So last year these elements were on the tree for Blue Glam Christmas, and I still need to stitch up Winter Christmas Deer Tree, and I need to stitch up Tree Farm. So I still have these in the WIP box because those are the last two, and then I will have stitched all of the ones. There was actually, I think, 9 in the series. There's one I just don't like the pattern, so it's not that I don't like it, it just doesn't suit me. so I haven't picked that one up, but I have stitched all of the others, and I will be stitching these two just so that way I can have the full series all done. But I just needed a break from Christmas. So that is all of my current WIPs. As I said, there are 2 more WIPs. There is the October freebie that I'm working on, and there is another Christmas one. I'm just not sure when it's going to come out yet. And those 2 I do have as active WIPs as well. The October one I will be stitching next month. I've decided to put it down and treat myself to some stitching of my own, like, that doesn't make sense. My pieces that I can share on here, because I do want to start getting some pieces done. Over the summer, I definitely will be working on my Christmas series. I want to get my Christmas ornaments. I've decided I'm going to do the Hands-On Designs Shiny Object one that I picked up at Nashville. No, not Nashville. What's it called? What's the stitching ball? The online one that everyone can attend in December. The name's the Jingle Ball, that's it. So I'm going to be stitching that one. I've also got the previous year's ones. I've already stitched those once as gifts, but I would like to stitch those in the same colourway, and those are going to be on my tree this year. I will also be, for the month of August, I'm going to be stitching the Annie B's Christmas ornaments. So I'm trying to work out what else I want to take, because over the summer I have got a lot of plans, but at the same time I haven't. I've got a lot of plans during the day, but a lot of downtime as well. So I can vary what I can do. I can probably get quite a bit of stitching done in the evenings, hopefully. I always do take a little bit of time off over the summer. So even sometimes if I don't feel like stitching, I don't stitch. Stitching is a hobby, it's fun, I enjoy it, so not going to force it. There are a couple of pieces here that I would like to work on, but a lot of them are Christmassy, and at the moment I'm just not feeling it. I might take them, I might not, I just don't know yet. I don't know what I want to do. There's not too many WIPs here, so I don't feel too overwhelmed and too pressured. I just need to work out what I want to do, but at the moment I have quite a few new starts that I want to start and stitch, and I'm doing really well at keeping my WIP number roughly the same. So I've added a few this year, but not too many, so hopefully throughout the year I can get those stitched up and ready. But it's about stitching the things that I want to stitch. So that is what I will be working on over the next few weeks. So that is everything from me. I hope you've enjoyed the WIP parade. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's a little bit different, but I will be back. The next time I'm back, I think, will be my freebies on the 17th for June, and then I will be back for my Flosstube as well. So hope you have a lovely stitching few weeks, and I will see you very soon. Bye guys!